Ladies and gentlemen, it's a delight to be here with you all. Can I acknowledge Rob Thomas, the Principal of St Pat's, and Josh, the College Captain. Thank you for your welcome to country, and I too acknowledge the Kaurna people and all of Australia's traditional owners. To my state parliamentary colleagues who are here today, Shadow Ministers John Gardner and David Tassoni, and local member John Gee, Mayor Glenn Doherty, the many representatives of industry, government and business partners that were acknowledged before. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a real pleasure to be here with you all today to celebrate this launch of the first PTech project here in South Australia. In case you missed it, the last election campaign recently fought, the Turnbull government fought it on a platform of jobs and growth. You might not have heard that saying any time this year, growth and jobs, jobs and growth, jobs and growth. But it is, of course, a key element, the key element of what's driving our government. And as the Minister for Education and Training, a focus on jobs and growth and the preparedness of young Australians for not just filling the jobs of the future, but participating and helping to create the growth opportunities of the future is a really important aspect of my focus, and the Pathways and Technology pilot programs that we're running are a critical element of our overall policies to try to make sure that our education and training systems are helping to prepare young people for the jobs of the future and skill them, equip them to help create and generate the further growth opportunities that we will require beyond that. Because we live in times that are changing quite dramatically and significantly. There are a couple of real driving factors behind PTech. One relates to the focus on the technology element, the STEM element, science, technology, engineering, mathematics type skills that are encompassed very much in a PTech. And that is, of course, the changing nature of skills that jobs will require in the future. More than 70% of the jobs of the future will require a richness of STEM skills. Not that everybody needs to be out there with a science degree in their hand, but that across a whole suite of different industries, people will require a greater understanding of elements of those STEM disciplines. Doesn't matter whether it's existing industries like agriculture, changing industries like manufacturing, service industries like tourism. In all of them, the increasing use of technology as part of business operations means there's a need to have a greater richness of skills in those areas. The other real driving force behind a program like PTech is that employers frequently express to us their concerns about the work readiness of people who come out of school, training, university. And the best thing we can do to help enhance work readiness is, of course, to actually give greater exposure to people in school and training, to workplaces, to employers, to people actually who will be undertaking the employment in the future. And so PTech really tries to bring those elements together. That work readiness component and exposure to employers, as well as that element of providing the STEM skills and capacity that people will need in the future. And it does so looking outside of the traditional or increasingly focused drive towards universities. Universities are a critical element of skilling Australia for the future, but they're not the only element, and not every child at school will go to university, and nor, of course, should they be going to university. So as part of our plan across the country, we're trying to develop this Pathways and Technology model that brings local employers and local schools together. Still meeting the needs of the Australian curriculum, ensuring that those basics in English and maths are met, as well as pursuing an advanced level of STEM skills. The types of activities we see involve site visits, industry mentors, employer projects, helping students to build connections between what they're learning in their classrooms and the real jobs to which they will aspire in the future. And importantly, very importantly, they're about local connections between local schools and locally based employers, because the benefit for those employers of partnering with a school is about helping to secure a pipeline of talent for the future, which can give those employers confidence to invest in their local communities, in their business, and to create more opportunities because they know they will have people of the skills that they need to do so. Now, PTech is a model that was born in the US. In IBM partnering with a school in Brooklyn, in New York. But it's been replicated now many times over, and we as a government brought it to Australia last year, establishing 2 pilot sites that kicked off at the start of this year, one in Geelong, working with a consortia of local businesses, and one in Ballarat, working in particular with IBM. Been adapted to our local curriculum in Australia and to local conditions in those 2 centres. During the election campaign, we made the commitment to expand the pilot program across a more diverse range of communities and schools. And that's why it's so exciting to be here with St Pat's Technical College today for the launch of this pilot site. Because St Pat's brings a different flavour in terms of its role as a partner school under the PTech pilot. As a technical school operating under the Catholic Education Office, St Pat's has a range of unique factors that will enable it to pursue its PTech model in a different way that will ensure that across the 12 sites that we're running, or we're adding to the existing 2, that will have 14 very different models from which we'll be able to provide the information and the examples for other schools to pick up the PTech program and deliver it around the country. From Burnie in Tasmania to the Hunter Valley in New South Wales, or Townsville in Queensland, or Armidale in Perth. There's a broad range of different sites and different schools and different employer partners. Here, in Northern Adelaide, we'll invest around $350,000 to support students and school to collaborate with companies like Century Engineering and other local businesses through the Defence Teaming Centre. And I thank Century and DTC for their involvement and hope that in this room there will be other companies who are inspired to commit and engage and to make sure that they partner. Elsewhere in the country, as I said before, in the existing sites, we have IBM in one, and obviously a technology-rich partner, and we'll hear from IBM on the panel today. We equally have medical research and delivery facilities in Geelong. In the Hunter Valley, they're food manufacturers and processors. And you can see a real diversity of different types of businesses that want to get involved, because all of them have the need for those STEM-rich skills and for work-ready employees in the future. Naturally here, the partnership with a focus on defence is seeking to align with the priority we've put on significant investment in Australia's defence industries, our $50 billion submarine program, our $35 billion future frigates program, our $3 billion offshore patrol vessel program, and the $500 million Pacific Patrol Boats program. Not all of the elements of all of those programs will all happen in South Australia, but a lot of it will. And it will of course require skilled workers to ensure that it's delivered successfully, because we're not investing in naval assets in our defence industry just to create jobs and work. The defence industry programs are not actually a make work scheme, despite the way sometimes the political debate presents it. We're investing to ensure that our Navy and our defence forces have the world-class assets that they need and the capabilities that they need, and to meet the threats that Australia may face in the future. And so we have to ensure that by building them in Australia, we are building them to the world-class standards and the capabilities that the Navy will need, which of course requires the skilled workers to do so. BTEC pilots, I'm pleased to say, have received a big level of support from that first one in Geelong, and everywhere we've done it, the partnership and the enthusiasm of industry has been overwhelming, with big ticks of approval from employers who put real skin in the game. Employer partners assist with skills mapping. They offer workplace visits. They provide speakers to address BTEC students and participate in hands-on workplace learning projects. And importantly, they partner one-on-one program mentors with individual students. We're obviously keen to share lessons and best practice from the two existing BTECs, and a little bit of that I've got no doubt you'll hear about today during the panel session. But for example, Year 9 students at the Geelong BTEC have been participating in a compulsory taster this year and have now come to the point of choosing whether or not they will stay in the BTEC stream going into Year 10. And I was very pleased to hear just this week from the Skilling Australia Foundation, who are an important delivery partner for us with BTEC, that around 30 of those Year 9 students at the Geelong school at the Newcomb College have made the brave choice, because of course they are the first ones to go through, to participate in the Year 10 BTEC stream. And as luck would have it, there are about 30 representatives from the 5 employer partner companies there who have offered up as mentors, ensuring one-on-one mentoring arrangements with those students. And you might have, when you sat down and flicked through the bits of paper on the table, thought, why is there something from Newcomb Secondary College sitting here? We've never heard of Newcomb Secondary College. Where is it? Well, that is the Geelong partner school. And so you can see there some of what they are doing already in Newcomb, which we hope to replicate here at St Pat's. But those Year 10 students will be going on and they'll have a choice of pursuing real vocational education qualifications in different streams supported by those local employers. They'll do certificate 3, some of them in laboratory skills, noting the hospital and the medical partners working with there. Others, noting that they have some IT partners, will be pursuing certificate 3s in information, digital media and technology. And others still in business finance, because of course those services and those accounting and those back office roles equally have a critical place and require those advanced STEM skills. So those 30 students will have a real head start as they work their way through years 10, 11 and 12, secure those qualifications, but of course also secure direct contact and exposure and experience with local employers, which will give them a real head start to secure local employment at the end. So this is really what innovation in schooling is about, trying to ensure that we provide direct opportunities under a well-structured program for local employers and schools to partner together to help set up students with real skills to secure jobs in their local communities. Linking them up at an earlier age with industry so they can see through their classroom learning but also through workplace learning and how it is that they can reach their best job. As Rob said in his introductory remarks, it's a new way of outreach with industry, and that is absolutely the case. So I want to thank all of you for your interest and support that you've shown by coming along here today. Thanks St Pat's for showing the leadership in participating in this pilot program. Express my absolute confidence that St Pat's, who have achieved so much as a technical college, supported so many students already through apprenticeships, and have done that of course through effective partnerships with industry already, will now successfully run a second stream of industry partnerships, delivering a BTEC model that ultimately we hope and trust can then be replicated at low cost in schools and communities elsewhere across the country. Thanks so much. It's my pleasure to launch the BTEC for St Pat's today and to be with you all, and I look forward to seeing the success for local students, local young people, St Pat's,